Final ban here from 100 Thieves in the first half, along with Lee Sin. And as Dignitas prioritize the Rumble pick for themselves, it's Gwen over on the side of 100 Thieves.
Yeah, that's what I want to jump on here. As soon as we're up to the last bans here in on 100 Thieves side, they leave Gwen up thinking, hey, you're going to just instantly go for this. Every top laner wants their hands on Gwen. It's so relaxing to be able to play this champion. Yep. Level 1, scale your E, just charge down almost any opponent. Regardless though, Dignitas actually choose for the jungle. And this is, if I hadn't seen yesterday, I would be kind of mind blown right now, but Dardoch's Rumble yesterday.
So good.
My man.
1 and 9 or something like
that?
That
That was a roasting, okay? That was definitely a roasting. So I definitely have full faith there in Dignitas with their lock-in. The Ezreal that I mentioned before, also benefiting from the recent items. Very tanky AD carry. Ezreal's already known for being one of the most mobile, and self-peel is very easy for this champion. But when you have the changes to the items with Sunder getting super buffed, Muramana being in a very strong state, and then also Frozen Heart getting buffed, then that mana and those mana stats get to turn into damage as well. Really like this bottom lane as well.
So the 100 Thieves composition has Gwen plus 2 of the important pieces of what you were talking about with that supportive mid laner and the carry jungler. Remember that yesterday in their match against Cloud9, the final scores of these two players who were on the exact same champions, Abbeddage went 0-1 and 15, almost the perfect support scoreline, while Closer went 7-1 and 7 on the Zhao. They know how to use these champions together.
They did also have a little bit of help. So I seem to remember some crocodile just running into this.
Yeah, Perk's doing his best Grubhub cosplay didn't exactly hurt their chances of succeeding with these two.
The crocodile meal was on sale that day.
Yeah, 20% off. And
Free
buy
delivery.
1, get 7 more free. Doesn't really matter too much when it's like that, but let's see how the rest of the draft will go. Varus, Thresh, Chase, Nocturne, all manned away. And now we'll get to see the kog'maw locked in for 100 Thieves.
Okay, so the kog'maw option here. Previously had gone with the Varus. Varus gets banned out. Guess what? Going with the kog'maw does have an interesting, synergy there with the Karma as well. Not only are you buffing up the Gwen and the Zhao diving forward, but guess what? It's going to be always nice to have that extra speed and shield on the kog'maw as well. So
yeah,
this is looking like a lot of good options for 100 Thieves, because Zhao very good early game power for the jungle, and whenever I see Rumble jungle locked in, I want the other team to try and invade him early. Try and upset the early jungle clear, especially with the nerfs to Rumble, doing a bit less damage to blue buff, red buff, the things with high health. Oh,
yeah, we got Darius
another one here,
win.
baby. Talk about early game, Flowers.
Yeah.
Talk about some early game. You want a strong lane. The Darius is locked in. I guess we can keep it open until they're done trading with, there's the tiniest of possibilities that you can flex Darius to jungle because they buffed it.
They made the monsters bleed more.
But that percentage is like 0.0001. So FakeGod, high probability going with the Darius into Gwen. And I want to see if this is one of the very few champions that Gwen cannot just level E and then charge you down, because E, 40% attack speed boost, plus your on-hit damage, plus the dash. Usually in many of these matchups, Gwen players from the start can go aggressive.
Plus she takes Ignite.
Exactly. Previously, we saw, okay, one of the answers for, has been the GP, which Gwen actually won't go aggressive early on, can decide to fight or give up wave pressure. And we've had multiple of them give up the wave pressure. I think versus Darius, that's one of the beefy boys. You probably also are going to have to make that choice. So I'm so excited to see FakeGod, especially FakeGod, who has had time on this champion, how 100 Thieves, excuse me, not FakeGod, Ssumday, that was quite a while ago, will be able to, reestablish himself, because Ssumday in the opening game on the Wukong definitely had some blunders, but really made up for them yesterday with his Gnar play, getting that solo kill and riding that to victory.
And I like what you mentioned earlier about how these two teams both have a chance to really have a big win here. Dignitas being at the top of the table with the win. If 100 Thieves take this victory, they are now tied with Dignitas in the standings. Both these squads having a chance to make a real splash here in week number 1. Darius versus Gwen, I can't wait to see.
Yeah, I mean, we came in super hyped for a bottom lane matchup, but now I'm just super hyped for FakeGod versus Ssumday. Going against, yes, it's been a while, but Ssumday and FakeGod exchanging spots on 100 Thieves, and FakeGod always looking up to him.
And so Ssumday, we're seeing the flash. We're seeing the flash Gwen instead of the ignite Gwen. So this shows me that Ssumday's not willing to just fight him straight up.
And we hit our .01, Flowers.
We did.
The Darius.
We got the Darius. We got the Rumble.
Jungle.
It is Darius in the jungle with Rumble top. Ssumday taking the flash on the Gwen. So again, being a little bit more respectful than that ignite pickup there. Just making sure that everything else looks about par for the course here. Yup, standard stuff. Cleanse on the kog'maw compared to the heal on Ezreal. 100 Thieves are going for an invade, but it doesn't look like they'll find much other than the opportunity to set down some vision. Closer does come pretty close to this brush here. So, Kobe, I'm going to ask you, if you don't have the answer, it's okay. What do you know about Darius jungle?
I know that he has no, like, his ganks are not effective unless you have flash.
Okay.
Or some people actually opt to run Ghost with him because of that fact and the low cooldown on Ghost. And then you just kind of run into lanes that have CC set up for you. But he is very hard to fight off of stuff. So we were looking in Champs, like, remember I was like, oh, when I see a Rumble jungle, I want the team to invade them. 100 Thieves do invade, but it's not even Rumble in the jungle. It is Darius in the jungle starting top side, and it's 100 Thieves actually splitting the map here, taking away off of bottom side so they can have that, kog'maw Braum lane. Effective start.
Instant gank into the mid lane coming out from Closer. He passes from enemy red straight to mid. Take the free flash from your opponent. Easy stuff.
So there are not a lot of tricks to Darius jungle. Okay. You pretty much just want to leash your camps close to the outside of the patience range as you possibly can to get to the next one, and getting your bleed onto all of them. Yes, you want to hit at the end of your axe, but that's nothing special. Darius always wants to do that. So Abbeddage here, back to the mid lane matchup after that early gank from Closer. And this again, they did see the invade and the red buff steal. They got pushed out of this side of the jungle. So it was actually a very efficient gank there from Closer, just red over to his red side, making sure he can get that 3 quadrant on Dardoch. But look at this. Sometimes when you have those restrictions, you're forced into a gank, and here comes Darius jungle.
Let's see what he can get done here. Already getting the flash out of the enemy support, and this should be a kill. Huhi very, very low on the HP, and with the bleed coming out, there's no way he stays alive, and they make sure they give the kill over to Neo.
Neo flashes in for that one with the potion ticking. I don't think the bleed was going to take him down, so they get the gold on the right place. The AD carry here. And again, remember, biggest strength of Ezreal is the items. So getting your early money here, funding this build for Neo is going to be huge. Plus, Dardoch, forcing this gank. Let's see if they can get anything out of FBI here. He has flash and cleanse.
Yeah, he's got both summoners, so should be able to get out of this. There you go. Flashes out, cleanses away, but he's pulled right back in. Both summoner spells used and a kill still acquired, but now backup has arrived. 100 Thieves looking for the kill on the enemy AD carry, and they found it, but now we're in a 3v3. Aphromoo about to die next, but the wind will not become lightning in time. Abbeddage trying to get himself away here, but a lot of damage coming down. 2 kills over onto the side of 100 Thieves as they push back Dardoch. He's forced to retreat. 3-3 game, 3 minutes in.
Every Dignitas game is a party, Flowers. We don't have time to spend on each crazy aspect here, but the repeat gank from Dignitas draws out 2 teleports. 100 Thieves not going to let them continue to focus on this bottom side of the map. Really good double teleport answer immediately. Honestly, though, let's see here with this opening, Aphromoo gets the stun off just as the flash goes through. So then, even with the cleanse there's nothing left for FBI. Split second difference. If he flashes a tiny bit earlier there, doesn't let the stun get off, or cleanses and then doesn't, get the extra range for getting yoinked back by Dardoch. That could have been even slightly better for 100 Thieves, but still good for them to get the counter. And guess what, Flowers? The money went to Gwen.
Oh, yeah.
2 kills now on that Gwen. We're going to get to see Ssumday on one of the strongest top lane champions.
Okay, Hex Flash coming out from Closer. Lands the W. He'll go to sleep before he gets the 3rd hit for the knock-up. The root goes through, but Closer does not want to go underneath the turret to pursue that kill. Doesn't have his normal flash, so there wouldn't be really any way to do it anyway. I like how active we're seeing both junglers be. There's no just path around and make sure your camps are spawning on cue. No, it is gank, gank, gank.
Looks like they all had their caffeine start to the day today.
You love to see it.
And they're going to keep up that pressure. Zhao working with the supportive mid. This is one of the biggest things we want to try and highlight for this combination. That's also why I like actually taking Inspiration second, which is fairly rare on junglers. But because Closer goes Inspiration second, gets the Hex Flash, you know, this champion that relies so much on a lot of early pressure and early effectiveness in lanes, does get to do off, you know, Hex Flash ganks and more pressure here to push in that mid wave so you can really play off that synergy of the two and then move into control jungle. Here's another Hex Flash though. Aphromoo wants to come try and even the numbers.
And I really like to see Hex Flash on champions that don't have a built-in ability to dash over a wall without a target, right? Yeah, Zen can use an E over the wall if you're standing on the other side of it, but this just opens up so many new pathways for him, really lets him shine there in those early ganks.
And with the extra range of W, it's like you actually have a tremendous reach, especially around you know, mid lane. Hex Flash out of the brush, plus if you hit your W, then you can get the 1100 range dash follow-up. So definitely want to play very offensive with this champion. You know, early and often is the name of the game for those ganks from Zhao. He does that. Top side is also going to start to get pushed in here. You see Ssumday, you know, off of the early kills from bottom side, really trying to make use of that pressure. Anytime I have a top laner who can push in waves like that, Flowers, you love to see it. Taking that time to go invade the enemy jungle. As a jungler, I want my whole team with their efforts, I
want them to ward the enemy's stuff. I want to make sure that they're keeping an eye on the dude. I want to be able to track them. It's a team effort. And there's an I in team because I need wards.
Very true. Plus, Gwen is also well positioned to try and fight enemy junglers, you know, at their buffs and stuff like that. Dardoch, though, on the Darius, has cruised to a quick level 6 here. And is trying to establish some of this jungle pressure off of the feet of the bubble lance.
Nicely done. Let's see if they can set up the rest of the kill here. Should be no problem. Closer taken very low, and Dardoch just dunks him. Let's see it.
Dardoch and the jungle ocean here with the Darius. Bubble is a perfect setup, Flowers. You're going to wake up from your nap to the edge of an axe chopping your head off, as well as getting yoinked in by the Apprehend immediately after. That sets up Dragon for Dignitas. Really, really good job trying to snowball this ahead. Abbeddage continues to try and punish Soligo here in the mid lane. And even though we're constantly seeing Soligo get ganked and have the waves pushed in on him and get harassed down to 100 HP here, he still has been able to scrounge up that CS. So there hasn't been a super detrimental lasting effect. Yes, they got one turret plate off of constantly pushing in and all these Zhao ganks, but Soligo is doing decently well for himself, still at least keeping close in that CS under all the pressure.
And that difference in jungler levels was what could have been the difference between Closer living there or not. If he did have his ulti, remember he hadn't damaged the Darius. He could have tried to disengage with the Crescent Sweep, but coulda, woulda, shoulda. Doesn't matter when the Zoe bubble finds the target. It means free money. Let's see where our teams are going to aim next here. You can see Dignitas bringing some bodies up here to the northern side river. They're checking around, seeing if maybe they can find any wards, but both of those wards around the pit from 100 Thieves will stay there. Checking in on the state of top lane. The farm is pretty even, but those 2 kills for Ssumday still going to make sure he has a slight gold lead.
And because of the champ select, this game is going to remain volatile. If we're looking at, you know, predicting the next few minutes here, you've got your supports looking to roam around with these junglers. You already saw the amount of damage that you can bring and the follow-up when you have this Darius, but if Darius has some setup with Zoe bubbles, with Leona roaming with him, you know, Aphromoo, you already saw him trying to get as much time as he can, linking up with Dardoch, and you know, adding that extra range threat to actually pull off some of these picks. The same thing can be said for 100 Thieves on the Zhao plus Braum, because Xin can land your W, get that ranging, get the slow, and if Braum even follows up with a range Q, passive added on, now you've got the 3-hit knockup from Xin, plus then you have the passive stun coming in from Braum, so a lot of opportunity for those who want to take it. And those that actually can work around the vision, getting in there first. Dardoch is now first around behind Ssumday.
Dardoch trying to close enough distance here to pull him back. Now, once that Darius gets that stride breaker completed, remember, this is such a huge power spike for the champion, alleviates one of his designed weaknesses very effectively and makes it so simple for him to engage on targets from a distance. So that's one thing that 100 Thieves will have to be very aware of. Dignitas now bringing Soligo over to Dardoch. They'll bring FakeGod down as well. 100 Thieves do not seem to want to let them take this Rift Herald for free. They will see it about half HP right now and have to decide whether or not they want to go in to try to fight this. Dardoch eating the second part of the win becomes lightning. There's your bubble. Doesn't look like it's going their way so far, though, until Closer goes too far in. He's going to be killed immediately. Ssumday's able to swoop in, grab a return kill on the enemy jungler now, as Aphromoo tries to provide the CC while the rest of the team shows up. Ssumday continues to lead the charge, as Huhi tries to find a little bit more CC, and they continue the chase. 100 Thieves looking for the last little bit of damage they're going to need onto the AD carry, onto the support. FBI without enough mana to find the artillery here one more time. Neo gets away. Huhi continues zoning. The fight is 100 Thieves favored now. They managed to kill the enemy top laner. They've got better health on everybody else.
And that was a huge commitment from both teams, Flowers, because they know this game is so volatile and so close. Thinking that they can win it, committing everybody up here. Look at the opening, though. Because Closer gets focused down, even inside his ultimate, guess what? Everybody melee in there, gets the first kill. They've got the collapse. And Ssumday on Gwen, you see on the top of your screen, with the W down, can zone off 2 players, allowing the rest of 100 Thieves coming in to clean up the remnants of the Dignitas members trying to join in on this fight, evening it up to 1-for-1, but more importantly, establishing control over the map afterwards so they can then clean out these wards for the reset and setup. We do come into a pause.
Oh, no.
And we finally get a moment to breathe, and we can go back down.
Feel like anybody in particular has said, okay, I'm the one that's going to be making all those first choices.
They're
so
both
far.
trying to get in the driver's seat right now. They're
fighting over the wheel.
One cheek for each of them is in the driver's seat.
You could have said one hand on the wheel, but you had to go with one cheek in the seat. All right, we're back into the game. Let's see it here. 200 gold separates them, 1 Drake apart. Second Drake spawning here in just over a minute. The Rift Herald is up and alive. Let's see if we're going to get a fight forward here yet again. Dignitas, first ones over to the scene. They got a 4-man play. Neo has been brought up. Remember that FBI is in the bottom lane.
Yeah.
Considering this information, I don't see 100 Thieves choosing to fight for this.
FBI's hungover from the last party at Rift Herald. He is not coming to this one. And that is, both teams recognize this. kog'maw, it's not like they're going to give up a lot in giving up this Rift Herald, because kog'maw does get to push the wave all the way up to the turret, is going to start hitting these turret plates, mining some gold for himself. Meanwhile, though, with the swap, it should be a dig first turret. Dardoch getting first advantage there on the Rift Herald, should be able to pop it after they take down 2 turret plates by hand is the general marker you want to go for, because then your DPS as the Rift Herald is being summoned and charges up or winds up the animation on the Rift Herald charge, allows you to take off the last turret plate by hand. Then your true damage finishes off the last 2 that are most tanky, and you can basically one-shot and get that first tower bonus for your team. They actually might be a little bit behind in the DPS, so they're going to have to do a little bit of extra damage, but Ssumday here going to have a difficult time dissuading them from finishing this objective, and Dignitas get to roll their early game plan ahead quite effectively. Dragon number 2 about to spawn as well, so they finish up the top turret in time to make a rotation if they want to, but they're going for a deeper invade.
Yep, looks like they're just going to keep a lot of their forces focused on this top half of the jungle here. Neo will be the one to continue to push the wave, while his buddies in Dardoch and Aphromoo shadow him through the jungle there, sitting down some vision, removing some of the enemy vision. You can see 100 Thieves have decided they're going to abandon this part of the map. Nobody's on the whole bottom half, so they're just saying, okay, Closer, you can solo that Drake down. Even up this Drake count here should be fine. As long as nobody gets caught here in the top side jungle, they'll just trade that. Now, Huhi's stepping forward. However, he's going to find 2 enemy players instead of just 1. Ssumday's jumping in now, looking to keep the fight going. Holy moly, look at the damage. Ssumday already grabbing 1, making 2. Double kill over to Gwen as FakeGod tries to get away. You've got the chase continuing here on the left, as well as Soligo's going to get hunted down by the living artillery. A little bit more damage coming in there, and Dignitas just got caught, man.
Oh my goodness, it's the dream setup, Flowers. Huhi with this Braum catches both of them in a line, and that is what you don't want to happen versus Gwen, because Gwen, the biggest thing about Gwen is the true damage and in the center of her snip. So look at Huhi, lines them up, gets the stun here onto Dardoch. Ssumday's able to collapse. Then when they jump right next to each other, it is also FBI and Abbeddage just AoE wombo on both of them, instantly deleted. 100 Thieves counter this attempted jungle pilfering very quickly, slaps their hands. You have been found guilty here. 100 Thieves immediately just retake the gold lead. What a balloon here
21-48, the damage coming out of Gwen. Now, I know a lot of people out there, a lot of people in the League of Legends community absolutely hate playing against Darius. And if you're one of those people, don't be afraid to go back, clip that, and play it anytime you're feeling sad. Because I've never seen Darius die faster than that in a game of League of Legends.
Yeah, honestly, now we've got a 5-0 Gwen as well. Yes, yesterday, COG got it, and it did not look remarkable, did not have this big effect.
Yeah.
But that was not a champion thing there. So, honestly, Ssumday with the early kills, plus now getting a couple of the last hits off of this jungle defense here. Again, the middle of your scissors with the true damage, also applying the passive, it just does so much, and there's so much mobility on this champion, being able to stick to you and reposition to make sure that you hit the middle of your scissors, that it's going to be so incredibly difficult to deal with. Because there's no, what's your backup game plan versus a fed Gwen, Flowers? And, with a W, it's so difficult because usually you're like, okay, most fed carry, we need to throw all our CC at him, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, you have to get right in next to her, in between the W to be able to...
kind of where she wants you to be.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for you, in a situation like that, Equalizer used in the bottom lane just to make sure that the minion wave is going to get cleared out as effectively as possible. And when we're looking at the items coming online here, you do have the Stride Breaker for the Darius now, Gore Drinker for Zhao. Zhao is one of the champions, I think, that has some of the biggest build diversity in the game right now. You see a lot of different type of stuff. Solo queue, it's more of like Eclipse or Immortal Shield Bow.
Yeah.
Here, professional play, we saw a Frostfire Gauntlet before. This is the same build that Closer used yesterday, which was Gore Drinker into the Sterix Gauge, likely to be next. Makes him pretty tanky, gives a lot of pseudo-survivability through the lifesteal there, as we're going to see 100 Thieves rotate multiple people into mid lane. However, Dig has a lot of bodies nearby as well. Remember, Kobe, it only takes one fight where you don't properly focus Darius for him to go to Reset City, and that is a problem for anybody on the other side.
Yeah. Good use of the speed there by Aphromoo. It is always hard to hit people with your Leona ultimate that do have their own innate speed buffs, so, ultimate traded there. And the mantra is very, very short cooldown. So
yeah, not that big of a deal.
Super happy to trade that one out. No harm, no foul there. Now, as we get a kind of reset moment here to look at the lane assignments and throwing this out,
yep.
the biggest point is going to be where they do expend this Leona ultimate, because the Leona ultimate and the bubble are how Dig try and retake control. They were in such a good spot until they invested so heavily in that red buff invade and gave over all those kills, resulting in this giant slingshot here for 100 Thieves. So what they need to do is try and find picks on 100 Thieves away from Gwen, away from Ssumday. There's no teleport ready on this Gwen, so as soon as you see the lane assignment from Gwen, bing ding, right now on your ward here through the jungle, try and make a pick with your Leona elsewhere on the map so you don't have to deal, with playing against this 5-0 Gwen. Here's how you imagine playing against it. Let's go elsewhere and make a pick with our Leona or with our Zoe bubble.
And one thing I want to point out here is Abbeddage once again here, 100% kill participation, 0 deaths on the mid lane Karma, and while Closer isn't having that fantastic of a carry game on the Zhao, he's only 1-3-4. I really like seeing this mid lane Karma when you have more of a hyper carry AD like the kog'maw, compared to what happened on day one when they played it and they had the Ezreal. Really not a big fan of the supportive mid laners when you have the Ezreal in bottom lane, but having a kog'maw like this, that means you still have something else to play around as you scale forward into the game. We've got a lot of people here in mid. 5v5 staring each other down. Bubble finds its way onto Huhi, but that's not really the target they want. Ulti comes out, but the Braum ult's not going to get much of anything, trading it away for a Stride Breaker with a 20-second cooldown.
Yeah, Braum ult is always best used as a kind of counter engage there.
Yeah.
Since the travel time is quite lengthy, it's hard to use it as your primary engage, and that's going to be a big cooldown. Maybe Dignitas try and find their way back in on this one. You see Dardoch on the front lines. Aphromoo here is ready to go.
All right, the Equalizer's been summoned up. It's going to be slain by Dardoch instead, but 100 Thieves will look to take the fight. They push forward, already killing off the enemy jungler, and Ssumday's looking to take it even further. He'll be drowsy, but it will not matter. There's no time to get the rest of the damage after the sleep. They won't be able to chase anyone else down. So Dignitas, they do manage to steal away that Drake from 100 Thieves, but they lose their jungler as the cost.
Yeah, this Darius just keeps getting blown up here in the aftermath. You see Ssumday as well immediately flashing, dashing forward, trying to get as many more as they possibly can. This is going to result in 100 Thieves pushing down not only mid tower, but Ssumday's also on the bottom of the screen, pushing out bottom lane so they can open up for pretty free resets for themselves to grab these control wards. And then you just have one last outer turret before you start to get the opportunity to starve Dignitas of their jungle camps. Closer and Abbeddage wasting no time counter-jungling this blue, and they're going to have to reset before they get any more.
Okay. Also, one important thing to notice in terms of the item power spikes, supportive mid laners, you get to have that lower cost item. Never mind, we're going to talk about a replay instead. Here's how the fight went down. There's your steal, but then...
Yeah. He's able to walk up. Dardoch can walk up just at his smite range, gets the smite steal. Then all he has to get out is a stride breaker, though, and does not flash out afterwards either. Tries to go for the fight, but with 100 Thieves moving up, and you have the Braum unbreakable wall in front, so there's not a lot of return damage options there. And they get the 1-for-1. You kind of have it's kind of a steamroll effect, as then they just get to charge forward with this Karma speeding up Zhao and Gwen, both of which, by the way, heal a tremendous amount because of their passives and their Conqueror.
Yeah, and the thing that I was going to say before the replay, Ardent Sensor on the Karma is so powerful for Zhao, for kog'maw, for Gwen, and he's able to apply it to everyone all at once with the mantra Inspire. Super, super effective teamfight itemization here coming out from Abbeddage. I love to see it, and we're going to see this game continue to move forward with 100 Thieves having that about 3,000 gold lead. You can see Baron now on the map. We are just about 21 minutes in here, so still very risky unless you're just coming off the back of a big team fight win here for either squad.
I really do like, again, we talked about it in the opening, but 100 Thieves sticking to their guns, sticking to their research on the meta. People are still figuring out the meta, as it is established in the LCS, and they have invested so heavily in supportive mid, carry junglers, but now they've got carries all over the map, Flowers, and those carries are fed.
Okay, Ssumday's going in, trying to use the invulnerability here, but a nice use of stopwatch guarantees he's not dead. The rest of Dignitas now trying to file out, but with Ssumday having already used his ulti, having already used that longer cooldown for the W, 100 Thieves do not want to continue the chase in what is essentially a 4v5, so they'll clear the wave and back away.
Yeah, Ssumday does have teleports.
Ssumday's ready to come back now. They continue to move forward. FBI's able to apply the red buff autos as Closer zones away the rest of the team. Closer might be a little bit far forward, or is he? Continuing to have the presence here from the crescent sweep, keeping him alive. The shield comes through. Closer with the flash over the wall to make sure he stays safe. Now they're going to force the flash out of FakeGod as well, and it's 100 Thieves who are continuing to be the better team fighter.
That's the great thing about playing Zhao in competitive. Your teammates always got your back in the comms. I got you with the Karma shield. I got you. Keep going. Keep going forward.
It looked dicey there for a second, but it was not when you're able to count on Abbeddage to be there for the support, and 100 Thieves will march on to the Baron now. There are still 4 men alive on the side of Dignitas. Do they want to go here? Can they even get here in time?
Well, they're here in time, but can they do anything about it? 100 Thieves on this Baron. That thing is...
Oh no, Dardoch might just be your target here again. FBI popping the clans. FBI's ready to go. FakeGod had to flash to get away last time, and now he's gonna die. Wind becomes lightning, means Soligo's gonna be locked down as well. Double kill back over to kog'maw, and there comes another potential kill. Dardoch tried to fight Ssumday. Sorry, buddy, that champion was made years ago, and this one's brand new.
Meanwhile, with that Baron buff.
Oh, nice shot. The shutdown for Neo there to at least stop a little bit of the 100 Thieves war machine.
Able to get in there for the snipe onto Ssumday. The W was still down for Ssumday after his fight previously, so Neo jumps in and cuts that one a little bit short. Here's another look, though. And you know what? I already know what the end game tweets from the 100 Thieves players are going to be.
I hope they're spicy.
Karma good. All caps, Karma good. Because they have carries in all the other positions. Jungle, top, bottom carries that all greatly accelerate.
This was so greedy.
This
is so greedy. He wins with 100 HP. The bleed fades away. He's like, whoo, I survived. All right, let's just take one more wave. And then Neo shows up just in time to punish that a little bit.
It is a big shutdown as well.
Yeah, it means a lot.
So honestly, Dignitas going to get cut down once again here, though. Does look like he breaks the tether. Dardoch will live to walk away. And yet, even with the recalls here, it's going to be hard for them to defend these towers. Baron buff's still on for another minute and a half for 100 Thieves, so they should be able to make their way all the way up towards those inhibitor towers.
That might have been a minion block from the tiny Krugs that stopped that tether from applying, because it looked so very close. 100 Thieves now pushing up towards this tier 2. easily can take that one for themselves. Turret count now 6-1, Kobe. This is a big reason that there is now an 8,000 gold deficit in this game just 24 minutes in. Dignitas are struggling to stop this bleeding as 100 Thieves just want to turn the knife in the wound and make sure they can win this one fast. They'll continue the push here in bottom side. We've got a 4-man effort. Ssumday now looking to rotate down here too, just in case Dignitas look for the engage there. They use 2 big ultis in Equalizer and that solar flare. True Shot Barrage won't find anyone, and the pressure continues.
Yeah, it looks so funny every game where we have Rumble versus Karma, and late game, these Rumble ultimates go down. You see almost no damage sticking because of Karma's shield and speeds up off of those. 100 Thieves can go forward again.
Okay, 100 Thieves looking to take down the tier 3 turret, accomplish the tower dive now. Underneath they go, looking for enough damage. They take out Dardoch first. They haven't lost a single man yet. Grabbing a double kill now with FakeGod finding his way into the dirt. Only Soligo and Aphromoo are left standing after FBI gets the kill on the enemy AD carry. I said they wanted to end this game fast, and they're going to do it within 60 seconds. 100 Thieves on to the Nexus turrets. First one's already down. Cannon minion is still alive. Now the Baron buff wears off, so the Cannon minion, that was actually the most well-timed Baron buff leaving ever. The Cannon minion steps up to start tanking the turret. The Nexus is under fire, and 100 Thieves, 16-6, they make it look simple.
It went from Karma, what was that, in the first game to Karma, what was that?
Very well done from this squad. Nice stuff there, rising up to 13-8 in the standings. They will now be tied with Dignitas right up there near the top.
Honestly, though, I do love it when teams and coaching staff and players trust themselves on these things.
Yeah.
Because you can really see how it is setting all of the other players up for success. Now, turning away from that, I don't think, Gwen should be thrown around lightly like this.
I don't think you can ever let it go on Blue 1 if it's up.
It's actually, yeah. Honestly, though, it was not being picked up and first picked on Blue 1. It's the biggest thing to me because, okay, if you're giving it away, maybe you have crafted something where, on the backside, you can get 2 super highly prioritized things, but then, investing the first pick there on blue side into Rumble and not giving Gwen the respect there, that being added with the multiplicative power there of Karma and the other carries with your Zhao carry for jungle, with your kog'maw on bottom side, just really, really strong, mid and late game setup there for 100 Thieves. And definitely fun to watch here. Every dig game, the beginning is just action-packed. We've got role swaps. We've got, Darius moving into the jungle right after Dardoch had this crazy Rumble game. It's funny because in the interview afterwards, Dardoch, too, was talking about how previously, FakeGod is like, I'm going to take Rumble. I'm going to take Rumble.
Yeah.
And then he's like, oh, yeah, and the draft just worked out that I got it. And then he has this big performance on it. You're like, okay, FakeGod, you can have it this time around. But 100 Thieves with the better answers.
Yeah, 100 Thieves making this Zhao in the jungle, Karma in the mid lane work. I wonder how many more times they're going to win on it before a team is like, okay, we got to break this up. We've got to ban at least one of these out.
You know what happens if Karma gets banned out? Lulu.
Oh, no.
There's more shields.
There's always another, my friend. There is always another one ready to go. But this was a very, very fun match to see early on. Like I said, I loved seeing the 6 kills at 3 minutes. Yeah. I love the fact that they kept it up and kept trying to answer one another. We didn't see any of that. Just clear the camps, jungle pathing. Good game.
And it's also enjoyable when there are so many, volatile matchups.
Yes.
So those are the ones that you like to see, really creating that conflict.
Yeah, having top laners like Rumble versus Gwen is better because some guy's not just going to sit there and build a Bramble Vest into a Bomby Cinder Mythic and be like, all right, boys, I'll see you at 25 minutes. Nope. We get to see some real team fighting power between these guys, and it makes it so much fun to watch, and I hope we just get more of those throughout this. I mean, the teams are playing a triple round robin now here in summer. They're going to be having a lot of times to get back at each other, and I just want to see more creativity. I want to see teams doing what 100 Thieves is doing, like you already talked about. They're saying, hey, here's our read on the meta. Here's how we want to play the game. No more of that copycat stuff. Don't just play whatever you think somebody else is doing best. Play your game, and 100 Thieves are winning with it. It's
always fun, too, to hypothesize, what are going to be the after effects of these initial changes if, if supportive mid and carry jungle starts to become prominent, and the shielding and healing and speed up, it starts to be the beginning of the story, where our knowledge tree goes. But let's get ready here. We're going to hand it over to Pastry Time and Ssumday.